Hey guys, Promo1701 here, and today I want to talk about my top 5 classic Doctor Who stories that I want to see get the special edition treatment. And by that I mean, the CGI effects, updates, to make them look just a little nicer. Um, we've got 5 to talk about, but I do want to give an honorable mention, and the honorable mention is to Time and the Rani. Uh, we know season 24 is coming. We do know it doesn't have any episodes this season getting the CGI treatment. Instead, we're just getting extended versions of all 4 episodes, which is great. But I would have liked to have seen a CGI version of Time and the Rani. Some of the effects hold up really well, like when you're trapped in that little ball that goes spinning around and blows up. That's a pretty cool effect. But I would have liked to have seen some stuff that was needed to be updated, like the regeneration. I'd love to see the regeneration updated, so you can actually see Colin's face dissolve into Sylvester's. There've been a lot of fan edits that made it that a lot of fan edits that really pull that off, that really make that regeneration look good. There's even an Easter egg on the original DVD for Time and the Rani that has a CGI effect where you see Colin turn into Sylvester. So I would like to see that kind of just officially made canon in a special edition. Two, some of the effects that were good at the time look dated now, like at the very beginning of the episode when the lasers are hitting the TARDIS and cause it to crash. I'd really like to see that redone with modern technology because I think that could be a really good explosive start for the season. Seeing that with new effects, I really want that. I believe there's a scene with some bees. These little green dots, they're supposed to be bees at some point. Looks terrible. Terrible. Those need to be redone. And I'd really like to see the intro redone just for this story, kind of like they did with the Terror of the Vervoids special edition on the season 23 box set. They redid the intro for that, and it looked really cool, kind of like a cross between the Sixth Doctor's intro and the Russell T Davies era. I'd like to see something like that, not necessarily changing it, but just updating it, like I know there's a guy on YouTube, I believe his name is David Burgess. He's done a really good modern update on the Sylvester McCoy intro. I'd love to see something like that, like the Sylvester McCoy intro if it was done today. Just for that story, I would really like to see that. So just a shout out to that real quick. Number 5 on the list is the 5 Doctors. I know it's already had one update visually in the mid-90s, and that's a cool little update. The Mr. Whippy effect is okay. It looks better than the original just black thing that would collect them. And some of the laser effects from like the Cybermen and the little checker board, the pie board, whatever you want to call it, look better in the special edition. But I'd like to see like a modern update on it. You don't have to do a whole lot to it, just a few things. It is, it's the 20th anniversary special. It deserves, I think, just a little more love to modernize it, make the things that capture the Doctors look a little better, make the laser effects look a little better. Doesn't need a lot, just a little to bring it more in with the times. I've always been just a little disappointed with the effects in it. Number 4 is Planet of the Spiders, and it's really just the spiders. I do love Planet of the Spiders, but I feel like the spiders pull it back. I'd like the spiders maybe redone, especially when they're on people's backs, just to make them look a little more realistic, a little more creepy, have the legs moving and tightening on them a little more. Kind of like how the Recon Dalek does people to control them, have them really clinging to them. And the big queen spider, I forget what she's called, but the queen spider, that scene at the end when she's confronting the Doctor, I'd love to see that redone, see her redone in CG, and just have her really massive and huge and creepy looking, towering over him. Because in the shots where you see him, he's kind of looking up a bit. So I'd really like to see that just made scarier. Because to me, that confrontation doesn't quite pack the punch it should, just because of the effects of the time. So if they could go back and just make that scarier and more daunting, and of course the Queen accidentally killing herself, you could really expand on that. So I feel like they could update the spiders mainly in that, and that would make the story a lot better. Number 3 on the list is the Ark and Space. I know it did receive some optional updated effects for its 2002 release, but by today's standards, they're pretty shabby. I still prefer those over the original model work, but I'd really like to see some effects more in line with what we got for the special edition of Revenge of the Cybermen used here, especially since it's on the same, it's on Nerva Beacon, the same station. I'd really like some special effects for that look on par with what's in Revenge of the Cybermen. Because I love the Ark and Space. It's a great story. I'd really like that redone. You could also redo the effects for the creatures so they don't look so much like painted bubble wrap. Think if you painted over and made Noah, actually look like slime and stuff taking him over. If you actually went in and covered that up with new CGI work, not shoddy CGI work. I mean, you actually do have to put some work into it and make it look creepy and slimy and gunky. Put a little budget into it. I think that would look really good. Imagine those scenes when he's like half transformed. Yeah. Make it look like what my childhood remembers it looking like, not what it actually looks like. Which, don't get me wrong, I love the story. I'm fine with the effects. I'd just like it to match what my childhood imagination remembers it looking like. And then even the full creatures, when they're running around in their larva stages, you can make those creepy. And I would really love that. In addition to doing, the space shuttle shots and all that stuff. Number 2 on the list, this is a big one, Invasion of the Dinosaurs. This one needs it. I've never seen this one, but I know it by reputation. I've seen pictures from it. By all accounts, this is one that has a very good story, too. Like a strong, strong story. I hear that all the time. It's just the dino effects that hold it back. So if we went in, I don't know how much trouble it would be to redo all of that with CG, but it sounds like it needs it. I really think that if you could get some good CG work done on this would improve the story a lot in people's eyes. Because from what I understand, the story itself is solid. Absolutely solid. So I'd love to see a special edition of that. Maybe that would be a good one for the season 11 one if they don't do Planet of the Spiders. And number 1 on the list is Underworld, which to me is an underrated story. I actually enjoy Underworld. I think the story is good. I enjoy it. Really the only thing holding it back, much like Invasion of the Dinosaurs, is the massive CSO work that just looks terrible. They were limited by what they could do at the time. I would love to see them go back and do the CSO cleanup for the outline of the characters, kind of like they're doing the CSO cleanup on Terror of the Autons. And then add in new backgrounds. The old backgrounds look bad. These days, I'm sure they could do the CSO cleanup on the actors and then put in much more realistic and better looking backgrounds. I'm sure they can make that look a lot better. I do hope when they do season 15, the one that gets the special edition, the CGI treatment, if one does, and it should, is Underworld. Because I really think if you cleaned it up and made the special effects look better, it would get reevaluated. Because I actually enjoy the story, personally. So those are my top list of the 5 stories that I would like to see get the special edition treatment and get the new added effects. What is your list? Do you agree with my list? Do you have other things you would like to see? Do you think they just need to consider Underworld a lost cause and don't mess with it? Anyway, let me know down in the comments. I always enjoy talking to you guys. Click the like button, click the subscribe button, click the bell for notifications. I have started a Patreon page if you would like to contribute to that to help me decide what to do with my channel. Anyone who joins and contributes above certain tiers get nice benefits, like voting in polls to help determine what reviews, what kind of videos I'll do, viewer request. If there's a certain episode you want me to review, I'll be glad to do that. If there is a certain ranking video you want to see, I'll be glad to do that. You want to hear me talk about Star Trek, Babylon 5, whatever you like, just click down in the link, or in the link there, in the description. There is a link. Click on that and it'll take you to my Patreon page, and you can join that if you like. Most importantly, though, thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and take care of yourselves out there.